If I had to talk about my style, I hate the question, what is your style? Because how you dress equals how you feel. To me, I have to take into account that dressing someone else requires to think about who they are as a person and what they're comfortable with. I love taking inspiration, for me personally, from the 60s and the 70s because it was a time that like women really started to feel comfortable about being sexy and showing any skin at all. I specifically really love the 60s because it was really about exposure. It was more about the legs that they were showing. It wasn't really about like what they were showing, I guess. The boxy shapes, like the dresses, I love all of that. It was still structured, so it was still like a artistic style to it, which is really cool. And it was more about the fact that like they were actually showing, God forbid, their freaking ankles, but also all the way up to their whole leg. And it said something that they wore like thigh socks to like kind of cover it up, but they're still saying something. The message is, hi, I'm showing my leg, what are you gonna do about it? I just think it's really fun. So that's why I really like the 60s, but and also like late after the 60s, like in the 70s, like it was more about like bell bottoms. It was still very much about shape, like bell bottoms, bows and ties everywhere, like graphic patterns, curvy, groovy. Women were showing their stomachs, like the days of Elvis. I honestly don't know exactly what year Elvis. I'm a little bit high. Well, in Elvis's days, like everyone went freaking wild. Like life was so fun. Like it looked fun at least in the cinema. But I love the way that they dressed. Like they were finally showing what they wanted to show. Like women were pushing boundaries that had been drawn by society for eternity, literally like eternity. What was deemed acceptable and capable, like, was changing for women. The whole thing, not just about what we were wearing, but it was still like the message behind it was, hey, I'm gonna do whatever I want. Thank you. Come again. And it's cool. Like, I also really enjoy taking inspiration in my personal style from the 90s because women also had a lot going on in the 90s. Like, they were office women, they were career women. We finally had suits. Like, we had pantsuits. Like, it was pretty cool. And they're moving up in the world, like the 90s was a time where women were proving that they were just as good as men. Like they could do everything that men could do. I mean, we fought for women's suffrage and we can vote now. Thank you, all the first feminists of the world. I really am bad with names, but you know who I'm talking about. People who remember history classes. Anyways, women in the 90s totally fought for stuff, and then they had their shoulder pads, and that was like kind of like something to say, like, hey, look, this is super masculine. Like, let me pause for a second and see where I'm at. Oh, the 90s. I kind of want to go off on a tangent and talk about the LA riots because the 90s also had a lot to do with like, it was very sad, the riots. Like, the Rodney King riots were sad, and a lot of people died, and a lot of people got hurt for a message of equality amongst, like, race, gender, any other dumb prejudice that people have against each other. Equality had to be fought for, and a lot of people were hurt because of ignorance, and that's really awful. But, like, clothes, when talking about expressing emotion in that way, like, coming into a room full of people who have already deemed previously that something is unacceptable for whatever reason, because it's, promiscuous or scandalous or whatever, or like, I don't know, ankles, I don't know, things have changed a lot. But still, there's still things that were changing in the 90s that I think was a big turning point for people. Like, especially in LA, there's just a difference between accepting people for who they are and every piece of who they are and everything that they want to wear and whatever they want to wear. And it just says a lot more about society, like I think that we're getting there. We're getting there when it comes to like accepting people and like, treating everyone with equality because we're all humans and stuff. But like then in the 90s, in 1992, that wasn't happening here. Like, that people were fighting for it, and people got lost along the way and, like, hurt each other, but they still, like, said something about their clothes, you know, like, I don't know, you know. It's just a great way, dressing myself, to explore my emotions and, like, find the truest me and, like, be the truest person that I can be, like, every day. Because I want to wear this sweet freaking vest right now. I'm very aware that, like, showing skin and wearing anything form-fitting or whatever is doing. Like, I'm aware of it. According to some, like, specifically, any people forgetting that change is important for growth, those people are usually the same people that find it really scandalous to be so fabulous. Like, it's just, you know, that's a quote by me, by the way. Don't let anyone steal that. Speaking of quotes, like, I would love to quote one of my favorite inspirational stylist, fashion designer, person, human being. I suggest she should be a saint. Coco Chanel is my biggest inspiration. She's absolutely the best. Like, she knows how to put into words that, like, how you dress should make you feel your best. You have to be confident in what you're presenting yourself as. Or you're carrying physical insecurities around on your person. I love that. Feeling great about what I'm wearing also makes me feel great about what I'm doing. That's a quote by me. I love short skirts. I love tall boots. I want to wear them and, like, be cute and not feel like it's unacceptable in a situation, I guess. Coco Chanel had so many amazing quotes about life and making you feel fabulous and making you understand that you can be freaking fabulous whenever you want. Beauty begins the moment you decide to be yourself. Coco Chanel. She talked a lot about being unique, which to me means, like, that means being yourself. She said, in order to be irreplaceable, one must always be different. Coco Chanel is so smart. Like, she just knows, you know? She literally is the best example of how confident every woman should feel all the time. Like, you're a freaking work of art, and you deserve to work wherever you want. You deserve to wear whatever you want and go wherever you want. And so does everyone else on the face of this planet, because everyone deserves it. It's really interesting. When I'm dressing other people, I have to know what they want to emanate with their style. I have to get a feel for each person. I love to analyze people. I love to think deep and wonder, what is that person feeling? Like, right this second, what is that person feeling? Like, I see that person driving down the road and she looks kind of sad, and I'm like, what are you thinking about over there? Like, are you okay? Like, are you wearing a sweater because you're feeling so sad? What happened? You know, I think about that. It's just something that I'm good at, and something that I have as, like, a connection with people. And I think that if you really read a person and you also have a set vision in mind, it's a really great challenge to put them in something that suits them personally, physically, or for whatever character they're doing. It also, you know, emanates their mood and their emotions and their personal style. You know, they brand themselves as actors who hire me, or whatever, you know, editorials I'm styling for, or, like, theater production I'm styling for. Like, I'm hired to collaborate with somebody's vision, but I'm also hired to collaborate with other artists who are doing a different job than I am, and I love to be able to read those people and figure out what they want and what they feel so comfortable in, because when they're comfortable, they can give their best performance. You know, like, not just comfort, it's also about, like, confidence. It's more about confidence than it is anything, and being confident is the most important thing when dressing somebody, or at least to me, like, thinking about somebody. You know, like, specifically men, it's really interesting to think about men's confidence and insecurities when they're dressing themselves, because I think about it all the time. Like, I think about what I'm going to feel comfortable in before I go to a situation. Like, I'm going to a bar with my friends. Can I wear this short skirt? Am I going to get weird looks? It sucks that we have to think about stuff like that as, you know, fabulous people on this planet, but we do. We have to think about that. And it's also, you know, crappy that, like, some people don't get the opportunity to even think like that because they don't even have anything. That's a whole different thing. Sorry I brought that up. Going back, talking about men specifically and dressing men, I think it's super interesting to think about gender roles in society. Like, some people are comfortable pushing those gender roles, or pushing any kind of boundary, really. Like, I mean, thinking outside the box when I dress myself is how I live my life. You know, thinking outside the box every day is how I solve problems and how I feel like I can climb a ladder or do what I want to do from life and find what makes me happy is because like I have to I'm just sure. You have to be sure of whatever you're doing and you can't worry about what anyone else says or what anyone else is thinking. So it's interesting when dressing men because some men are not, some straight men specifically, like they are not comfortable in wearing tighter clothes or colors, especially in the United States. Like other countries have adapted from like a metrosexual style or like a new urban hipster tight shirts, tight pants kind of thing going on for guys. And like I think it's, if you can pull it off, like freaking go for you, you know, like Justin Bieber, hell yeah. Like good for you. You attract a lot of American women and they love it. I personally I like my guys in band tees and jeans. So that's just me, you know, like that's a person that I would be attracted to. But I think a fabulous person is a fabulous person, and if you feel awesome in something, then don't worry about what color it is or how many polka dots it has on it or whatever, you know, like just that's what I say personally, but it's interesting to be able to read other people, specifically men, and see what makes them feel insecure or what doesn't make them feel insecure. Or like, you know, it's a changing point. I think the 2000s specifically, a lot of crap has happened in the world and like a lot of crappy laws are being passed for no reason. Like I don't really know why the whole bathroom. You know what? I can't even get into that. That's not what we're talking about. But I think that 2016 is a good time for everyone to be like, let's just start fresh and do whatever we want and make sure we treat other people with respect. Everyone has a right to fabulousness. That is my motto. Yes, I'm kind of just like the see a fabulous jacket, wear a fabulous jacket kind of gal. And, you know, it's a good way to live for me. Like I like it. I hope to spread that kind of philosophy around LA or the world or whomever wants to take my advice because sometimes I talk too much and nobody wants to listen. But if you are listening, I say, if you can pull it off and you feel great, freaking wear it. Like that's what I say. So, I'm really excited to continue my career and see the range of dynamics when it comes to what people are comfortable in dressing and also meeting people and, you know, figuring out what makes everyone else their most fabulous person because I would love to bring that out of everyone, especially when it comes to, you know, using it as a tool to move up because I'm all for that. If you think that you need a jacket from my collection right now that will make you get this job or do something awesome, I will gladly hand it over to you. I wish I could dress the whole world in fabulous jackets and make them all feel good. I would absolutely. Somebody give me the funds and or a couple sewing machines and I'll literally try to dress the world if I could. If I could do that, I would. I'm not like, I have ideas, but I'm not always like, I'm not a politician, I'm not anything. I'm just a fabulously dressed, average stylist who's also in love with a guy named Michael Nassau.